Hello, people, and welcome to episode 4 of the HT Pod. And today we have the one and only
Dr. Batti.
Yay! Yeah, it took us a while to get her on, even though, fun fact, she was supposed to go on second. But then, the misadventures of the universe happened.
I got mono.
Yeah, and, you don't want to be talking into a mic when your mouth has, like a
virus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that would suck. But I'm glad to finally have you on. How are you today?
Oh, feeling fabulous.
Really?
Yeah, we just watched Children of Men in film class. It was, I'm riding high.
All right. Who directed that?
That's Alfonso Cuarón, excuse me.
Of course.
Let me get it
course.
right. Let me
What got you
there.
into loving film?
My Nona. Aww. Yeah, my mom's mom. She loved movies so much. I think the only thing she loved more than movies was my sister and me. But she had, this was back in the day of VHSs, okay? So she would record films on VHS tapes and would record them just for me and for my sister. So I watched a lot of crazy movies, probably before I should have seen them, but I got an education in cinema from Nona.
What was like a go-to?
Okay, so I remember she showed me like Night of the Living Dead and Alien and Halloween, and like a lot of horror movies when I was really little. But I remember one time she recorded this French animated psychedelic film from the 70s, and it's called Fantastic Planet.
I love that film.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I watched it. I watched it one weekend when I was staying at Nona and Poppy's, and I watched it with Nona and Poppy, my grandparents, and it was just the three of us. And we were watching it sort of in silence for a while. And my Poppy, who was a very traditional Italian grandfather, at one point just started giggling. I was like, Pat, you recorded this for our grandchild? Like, you thought Bianca would like this? And she just started giggling too, and she had a big belly, so her big belly was just like, up and down and up and down. And she was like, I don't know, I thought she would. And I was like, I do like this. This is weird. I have no idea what I'm watching and what's happening on the screen right now, but the music is pretty dope. So
have you rewatched that one?
Oh yeah, it holds up.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's great. I feel like seeing that as a kid and then watching it now is probably a different experience.
It's a way different experience.
Yeah.
But it makes me like chuckle every time I watch it now because it's like, Nona, what? She was wacky. She was real wacky. Miss you, Nona.
Where was this?
This was in Malibu. So my grandparents lived in Malibu when I was growing up.
Did you swim?
I would go into the ocean, yes, but my mom was like, don't go out too far, because she almost got like taken by a riptide when she was little, so,
All right. Yeah. I've been swept away by so many riptides.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
When I beach, I go hard.
Oh.
I go beast mode.
I can see that. Yeah.
Beast mode is the best mode.
Well said.
Mm-hmm.
Well said.
Yeah. What can I say? I'm a poet.
But indeed.
So you're Nona in Malibu, and you grew up in
Reseda.
Valley girl since day one.
Since day one.
And where did you go to school?
So again, my family's very Italian American. So we grew up in the Roman Catholic Church. So I went to Catholic school, K through 12. I went to St. Joseph the Worker, which is on Sherman Way.
Is it still there?
Yeah, still there. That's where I went K through 8. And then after that, I went to Louisville High School, the all-girl Catholic high school in Woodland Hills. And I was ASB president there my senior year.
All right.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, how, so you went to like UCSD.
Yeah, for my undergrad.
So what was the extracurriculars on your application like?
You're in that zone right now. You're in the college application zone
right now.
What were my extracurriculars? It was student government. It was music, because I like sang in the choir and I played instruments outside of school. And then what else did I do? Oh, I did a lot of theater. I was like a theater kid in high school.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Shout out to Madam V, my drama teacher. She was the best. I loved Madam V. She was like my favorite teacher. I hope she's listening to this. I hope she was just like, I wonder what Bianca's up to these days. And she Googled me and this is the first thing that pops up.
What was your favorite theater production?
I liked Once Upon a Mattress. I think that one was my favorite one because
it's a fun one.
Yeah, and so we went to all-girl school, right? All-girl school, but Crespi was our brother's school. It's the all-boys school.
I did a show there.
There you have it. Yeah, you're in the know. See, you know everyone in LA. And so whenever we would do plays or musicals, like it would be open to both Louisville and Crespi students so that, you know, if there was a male role, a young man could play that role. But I often auditioned for those roles also because I found them more interesting. And so I got to play the king. I beat out all the Crespi boys. Me and this other, she was a senior at the time. I was a junior. Her name was Jocelyn, and we both were the king. So we would like alternate. And then, so we both beat out all the Crespi boys on being a man. And I loved playing that character because Madam V was like, okay, I know this. Now just hear me out. What if you were like Harpo Marx, but also the king? And because the king, he has like this curse where his voice is taken away by a witch. And so he pantomimes everything. And so Harpo Marx in the Marx Brothers was also a pantomime. So I wore a curly wig and a beard and a top hat, and I had a horn that I honked at my friend AJ, who played like a servant girl that I was chasing around all the time because things are problematic always. But it was fun because AJ was like my BFF. Aww. So I would just like chase her around the stage. And then I had to do a song, but instead of singing it, I had to pantomime the whole thing.
Of course.
I just liked the physicality of the character. Yeah. I really enjoyed like, I didn't have to learn any lines, but I had to learn a lot of like choreography and a lot of physical comedy. And so it made me think a lot about like the body as a site for humor in cinema and theater.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what made you want to pursue writing?
I've always liked storytelling in most mediums, but I really like words. Words make sense to me. I find them rich and fun to think about, and they pop up in my head in ways that like other mediums don't. Like I see words kind of form inside my head the way, okay, did you ever read Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator?
Duh.
Okay, so you remember how there were those like aliens?
I don't think I read that part.
Okay, so Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. It's the sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes, of course.
And they go to space in a great glass elevator in this book, hence the title.
Duh.
And they meet these aliens, and the aliens are these like big wormy guys, and they form letters. They can form letters with their bodies, and so together they like form words with like a chain of
tough
alien letters. And ever since I read that book in like third grade, that's how words have like shown up in my head. So shout out to Miss McGuire for making me read all of Roald Dahl's oeuvre.
Was she married to a guy named Jerry?
No, I don't think she was ever married. But Jerry Maguire, you know, he had me at hello.
Fire reference.
Thank you.
Glad we could build up on that.
So am I.
Splendid.
Mm-hmm.
Splendid. So you went to UCSD for writing. What was like your goal from going into college?
I think I always kind of knew I was going to be a teacher, but I wanted to be the kind of teacher who was good at my craft, who's good at my art, so that I could teach it as much as an expert as possible. Because you gotta practice what you preach if you want to be a good teacher, and you gotta model the work for your students. And so I figured, if I want to teach English, I want to teach writing and reading, I got to be the best writer I can possibly be. And I think I was just like always kind of intellectually curious, so I just enjoyed having the opportunity to read and write as much as possible. And I really liked being able to take all my creative writing workshops as an undergrad, because I was able to, like, I wrote a children's book with my friend Paul, and he did the illustrations. And like I wrote poetry and I wrote short stories and I performed, and I learned how to make a chapbook in my poetry class, like from scratch. And then we had a big party where we all read our poetry to each other, and it was so pretentious, but it was really sweet and cute. So like those workshops were really meaningful, and I practiced writing there more than I was able to prior to that. And so it really opened up the world of writing for me.
How did you like UCSD?
I liked it. I think it was sometimes hard to navigate as a creative writing major. I had to learn how to find space for myself on the campus. It's very STEM oriented as an institution. And so like engineering in particular is really prioritized on that campus. And so when I was like my first and second year, you know, when I was living in the dorms, everyone was like, wait, you actually like to write? Like, I can't tell you how many times I got asked that question. You actually like to write? And I was like, yeah, you actually like doing math? Like, we all like different things. Like, get on board, you know, people be different. But once I started taking my upper division classes and taking more of the writing workshops and like getting more involved with the creative and artistic communities on campus, like honestly, it was more about the music world for me than the institutional world at UCSD. Like the Che Cafe, that's like some of the first shows I ever went to were at the Che. And some of the first shows I ever played were at the Che. And that was on the campus of UCSD. So it was those sort of community spaces that were more integral to shaping who I became.
Yeah, because you weren't super duper up to shenanigans in high school.
I'm not a shenanigans guy.
You're a very shenanigans
am
guy.
I?
Yeah.
I guess I am a little bit of a rascal. But, you know, I was always like a rule follower. I'm a paradox.
So when did you go like punk?
Mostly that really started in college. I mean, I was definitely in that zone like musically in high school, but like ethos.
What were you listening to in high school?
Oh gosh, Black Sabbath. So more of a rock and roller than a punk rocker in high school. Like Black Sabbath. I would definitely listen to like the Misfits. So that is punk rock. I was Led Zeppelin. I was super because like John Paul Jones is a shredder of a bassist, and I was learning bass in high school, so I was listening to all the shredders, the Geezers, the John Paul Jones.
All right.
Yeah.
When did you graduate high school?
2005.
Cool.
Early aughts.
Yeah.
Early aughts kid.
That's an era.
Yeah.
So then you went to UCSD, and then you started. What year did you start working at Trader Joe's?
When did I start working at Trader? I started working there when I was a sophomore in college. So that was like 2006, 2007. I didn't mean to do that. I apologize, but it's literally the dates.
I forgive you. So who did you meet in Trader Joe's?
I wonder who I met at Trader Joe's. Okay, so I I interviewed there, right? And the day of my interview, I interviewed with the captain of the store, and I thought it went really well. And then I was like, oh, I got to pick up some milk for my roommate. She asked me for for a half gallon of 2% or something, you know. I'm actually pretty sure that's exactly what she asked for. And so I grabbed it and I went through one of the cashier's lines, and it was Mr. Dr. Batti who rang me up. And he asked me, I remember exactly, he remembers exactly what I was wearing. Aww. I remember the conversation, I remember what he was wearing because it's a uniform, so there's only so many options for that. But he had glasses and curly hair, and he was like, so how's your day going? Pretty good. I just finished an interview here. Oh, that's great. You want to work here? Yeah. All right, well, I'll see you around. And then I guess he went up to his captain like immediately afterward and was like, you should hire her. And then I got hired, and he helped train me, and, we're together now almost 20 years later.
My days.
Yeah, I was 19. No, I was technically 18 when I met him. But 19 once we started dating.
Yeah. Because that was after you quit.
Yes, I started dating him after I quit Trader Joe's.
Because you worked there for like 2 months.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't. This is hard work. I don't
All right, but then okay. So after UCSD, what were you up to?
I was tutoring for the San Diego public school district. There was this program that provided free tutoring for low-income households. So I'd go house to house. I was sort of an in-home tutor, tutoring all the time. I learned a lot of Spanish that way. That kept me semi-fluent for a while, which was really great, especially being in San Diego. Like, being multilingual is really important and really productive and helpful. And I really enjoyed that work. Some of the work that made me want to be a teacher was getting to work with students on that level. But I was also playing music at the time. And I took a year off from like school. After I graduated from UCSD, I took a year off and just tutored and played music and decided, like, what's my next step going to be? And I was like, well, let's aim for grad school. And I applied to PhD programs and master's programs, and I didn't get into any of the PhD programs, not one. I was like, all right, but I got into some master's programs, and I got into San Diego State. So I was like, well, I'll stay in San Diego, get my master's, work on my writing, work on my research, work on my reading, work on all of it, and then we'll see how I feel at the end of it, and maybe I'll apply to PhD programs again.
What was your master's program in?
American literature. So it wasn't a creative writing program anymore. That would have been an MFA, Master of Fine Arts. But I decided I wanted to go into analytical and academic writing to sort of support some of my creative writing, because I like being able to write in whatever genre I feel like. I don't want to be limited. I like to be a sort of a Renaissance person. Very
Margaret Atwood.
Oh, why, thank you. I mean, we aspire. But she be the GOAT, so. But yeah, I like being able to write in as many different genres and forms as possible. And in part, that's because I'm an educator. And so if I can kind of be familiar with more modes of communication, then I can teach more modes of communication in more of a credible fashion. So it's all just about getting more and more competent, more and more skilled at your craft.
All right. And while this time you're just like out here in the show scene?
Yeah, playing shows in San Diego, playing shows in LA. We played a show in Tijuana once.
Little films.
Yeah, we were making movies. We did the 48-hour film project every year for a while, where we would, my friend Sean and me, shout out to Sean, to Hecka Sean, heck of a filmmaker, that guy. Seriously, like the best filmmaker I've ever known. And he's just got an eye. And so we worked together a lot, making just fun little short films for the 48-hour film project. and in all different kinds of genres as the project requires. So making movies, playing music, getting my master's, wrote my thesis on zombie literature. Which,
Fire.
Yeah, which goes back to Nona showing me Night of the Living Dead when I was a wee lass. So it all really kind of came full circle at that point. I was like, let's keep talking about zombies. Why not? Got really obsessed with my man George Romero at that point.
Incredible.
The godfather of all zombies, yes. Got really obsessed with his glasses, and I want to have glasses like his glasses at some point. I showed them to my optometrist once. She Googled him.
Because, fun fact, you don't have 20/20 vision.
I don't. I have terrible vision, and I have since the 3rd grade.
Whoa. So when did you stop wearing glasses?
I mean, I still have I have glasses.
Yeah, but like when did you like transition to like
contacts? I think 8th grade was when I first got contacts. Yeah, 8th grade was like I got contacts, my braces came off. I was like a new woman.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was like, here she is.
Speaking of films, She's All That.
Oh, that was me in 8th grade.
Yeah.
You know how a woman just got to take her glasses off and suddenly she's the most prettiest person you've ever seen?
I'm sure.
Yep. No, I look great with glasses too.
I'm sure. Yeah, no, I can't wear contacts because I don't like stuff in my eyes. So when I beach and when I go hard and when I go beast mode at the beach, like I get up and I have to like rub my eyes and I have to like it takes me a second to like recuperate myself.
Beast mode?
Yeah, and like rub my eyes so I can see. Yeah. And then by then like another wave like splashes over me and I like tumble and it really sucks.
That's the danger of beast mode, but you know what you're getting yourself into.
Beast mode is the best mode. Well, after your master's program, what were you up to?
I got a job as an editor in academic publishing, and it was the most soul-sucking job of my life. And for 2 years, I worked in a toxic environment where they promoted a man who worked there for 3 months, even though I worked there for a year, and they promoted him over me. There was all kinds of harassment happening in the workplace. So fun. Such a fun place. And then I got fired.
Oh, wait, you told me this story. Wait, say the story about getting fired.
I got fired because I was deemed a bully for getting bullied by a woman named Rose.
Bro. BFFR. All right.
So I got fired, and when they told me that I was fired, I just giggled, and I said, okay, bye. And I left with all my cat pictures.
With all your cat pictures?
Yeah.
What's the context behind the cat pictures?
I had someone gave me a cat calendar, and so it was just like all these pictures of cats at my cubicle, and I made sure to take my time taking them all down. While they were escorting me out of the building, I was like, I need my cat pictures. I threw them away immediately. I just wanted to make a scene.
Okay, petty.
Anyway, that place sucked.
Yeah, was it still in San Diego?
Yes, it was in San Diego.
All right. And then after Evil Job, you were like, what? 20?
I was 23, 24. Yeah, I think I was around 23 or 24.
All right. Wait. So you finished that master's program real quick.
Yeah, 2 years.
Oh, I thought it was 4 years.
No. Master's is typically 2. Master of Fine Arts is about 3. And then a PhD is 5 to 6.
So when did you get into the PhD program?
In 2014, I was still at the job, which was one of the reasons why I wasn't so concerned about getting fired, because I was like, well, I know I'm going to get my doctorate, so this is small potatoes compared to what I'm going to do. Who cares? I don't know. It wasn't a big deal. So I got in it was 2014 that I got into Purdue.
Where is that?
Indiana. West Lafayette, Indiana. podunk town.
I don't know the meaning of the word.
Oh, sort of like country folk.
In like a good way or a bad way?
Just a way, but in a way that is not good for me. I found it a real sort of culture shock. I found a real cultural shift that I had to make as someone coming from Southern California, then living in the Midwest. It was tricky. It was the first time I had been super far away from home. It was just me and Mr. Dr. Batti, in Indiana, just living in the snow for the first time.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. The snow wasn't the worst part. It was hard. It was really hard living there for 5 years. But, I just tried to focus on my scholarship and focus on becoming a better academic, a better educator. And I used it as a way to, travel around the country more because I was more sort of in the middle of things. So I could get out. I drove down to New Orleans from Indiana. It was a 10-hour drive. It's a gnarly drive, but,
That's
road
cool.
trip with Mr. Dr. Batti. That's fun. And New Orleans is dope. So,
yeah. I want to visit one day.
It's a super cool town. I love New Orleans. Can't wait to go back. Went to New York a bunch. We went out to Philly and Pittsburgh a bunch because we have friends from Bad Dad out there. So, it was nice. I went to Chicago a bunch. I love Chicago. Chicago is a cool town. So it was nice being sort of more located in a way that I was able to explore a lot more of the country than I would have been able to otherwise. So I tried to look at it as an opportunity for growth and for getting to know an area of the world that I never would have gone to had it not been for school.
So when did Bad Dad form?
Bad Dad was back in San Diego. Sorry, I just had a little bit of an out-of-body experience about the fact that I'm now talking about Bad Dad for a school podcast. Shout out to Bad Dad, my friend. So Bad Dad actually started, my friend, Mr. Dr. Batti, and our friends John and Andrew, they all started the band together. And it's sort of like, what if Black Sabbath songs were only 45 seconds long? Is kind of what Bad Dad is. So it's kind of silly. It's really silly and absurdist. But it's also just they're three of the best musicians I've ever played with. And so they started the band and they played for a while together. And then Andrew, who's from Texas, he moved back to Texas for a while. And they asked me to sub in for Andrew. And so then I became a part of Bad Dad. And once you are a member of Bad Dad, you are never not a member of Bad Dad because Bad Dad is family. Bad Dad is life.
Facts.
And now our friend Triona, who is John's wife, she also plays bass. And now she's also in Bad Dad. So Bad Dad is just family.
Bad Dad is only going to get bigger.
Amen. It's some of my favorite people on the whole entire planet are in Bad Dad. And so I'm we all sort of met in San Diego during our formative years and became family during our formative years. And then we since sort of moved away, whether it was for my PhD program or John and Triona moved to Philly because that's where they're from, Pennsylvania. So but we still get back together and play. We're going to play prom this year.
All right. So what is there to do in Indiana?
Yeah. I read a lot of books.
Yeah.
I read a lot of books. I mean, I had to read a lot of books.
Books are everywhere.
I was reading probably on average, conservatively, about 5 books a week for 5 years.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it
PhD.
was fine. It was fine that there wasn't much to do in Indiana because I had plenty of work to do. I had a PhD program is no joke. And I don't know how people do it and have a job. I was lucky to kind of have a stipend, though the stipend was $18,000 a year. And you're expected to live on that.
What's a stipend?
It's like you're not getting a salary because you're a student, so you get a stipend. And stipends are usually much less than a salary because academic labor is exploited labor.
Fun.
Particularly grad students. It's seen as being good experience, so they don't have to pay you as much. So I got paid $18,000 a year for 5 years. Oh, I think it went up to 19 the last couple
okay, you know
years.
what? Yeah, so, yeah. The raise probably
really helped.
Yeah, I think that's
really helped.
I was worried at 18,000, but now it's fine.
I mean, thank God I had Mr. Dr. Batti at the time with his Trader Joe's.
The stocking shelves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Working Trader Joe's. That got us through. That definitely got us through. A PhD program is hard.
Yeah, at least rent there isn't as crazy as California.
Yeah, and we stayed in the same place all 5 years. I found shout out to my landlady, Misty. She was awesome. I've actually had great I was going to say landladies or landlords, but I'm going to call them land people. I've had great land people, really. I've lucked out in a lot of ways. And neighbors. Shout out to my neighbor right now in Sherman Oaks, Dave. Actually, everyone calls him Big Wave Dave because he surfs the big waves, but he just had knee surgery, so he hasn't been able to surf for a while.
That feeling when knee surgery's tomorrow.
Is that a meme?
No.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, Big Wave Dave had knee surgery, and now he can't surf the big waves anymore, but he's working on it with his physical therapy. So shout out to Dave. The best neighbor in the biz. I love you, Dave.
Bless up.
I love you, Dave.
So Indiana has absolutely nothing to do?
Nothing to do.
Nothing to do.
I mean, there's stuff. There's shows. We went to, like, a cool metal show in the basement of a church one winter. Actually, our friend was doing sound at that. He was on tour with one of the bands. A different John. Okay, his name is John Coda, and he recorded some of our, like, I was in another band at the same time as Bad Dad called Little Fowl with a lot of the same dudes. I was in another band called Monsters from Mars with Mr. Dr. Batti and some other guys. But John Coda would engineer some of our stuff, and he worked with them all at Trader Joe's also. And I always was very intimidated by him because he was like this big guy, bald beard. Like, he just, like, looked really tough.
Just average audio engineer.
Yeah. And, like, he always seemed like, I was always like, I don't want to, like, is he cranky? Is he having, I don't know. He's the biggest teddy bear of them all.
Aww.
And I remember I was, the first time we recorded anything with him, everyone else was, like, in the big room. But I had to go in direct on the bass, so I was in the sound, that, like, engineering booth with him, going direct into the control panel. And I was like, oh God, it's just gonna be me and John Coda. Like, I've never really hung out with this guy, and now it's just me. I'm just gonna be so awkward. He was so sweet, and he was like, "You're a really good bass player." I was like, "Yes, I knew it." And I was like, if John Coda thinks it to be true, then it is true. So shout out to John Coda for being
there was
this
some
lady.
hijinks in Indiana.
Well, no, that was in San Diego. Sorry, I
never
went back
mind.
to
There
San Diego.
was no hijinks
No
in
hijinks
Indiana.
in Indiana.
5 years of no shenanigans, no horse playing.
I mean,
no
I shaved my head.
Oh, was that when you shaved
That's
your
when
head?
I shaved
Did
my
you ever
head.
bleach it?
I bleached it once I got to Atlanta.
Okay, so after Indiana, you went to Atlanta.
That kind of rhymes a little bit, yeah.
What can I say? I'm a poet.
I know you are.
Duh. And that was what year?
Moved to Atlanta in 2019. So I graduated May 2019. So I graduated that spring, and then in that fall I moved down to Atlanta. Had one normal semester of teaching. I taught a bunch of English classes and the writing. So I taught at Georgia Tech. I went down to Atlanta because I got a job teaching the writing and communication program at Georgia Tech. It was a great program, great teaching fellowship that I had, a postdoctoral fellowship. I was faculty. It was like I was learning a lot. First semester down, boom, pandemic hits. I'm in a new town, just me and Mr. Dr. Batti, knowing nobody else around. And so I started bleaching my buzz cut and like doing fun colors because I was like, what else am I doing? I really enjoyed it. I'm going to go back eventually, but I'm enjoying having hair for a little while.
Hair is cool.
Yeah, I know. I got these bangs now. I wonder whose idea that was. Whose idea was it for me to get bangs?
Don't be glazing me. I know. I'm like a hairstylist. Yeah. I'm like a genius. I know. It's like a whole thing.
Took me a year to do it, but you convinced me eventually.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
But okay, so Georgia Tech, pandemic.
Yeah. I wish I had been in Atlanta when it wasn't the pandemic because I left in 2022. Right as the pandemic was sort of like right as things were opening back up. But Atlanta's a really cool town, and I really liked it because of how like plucky of a city it is. There's a lot of moxie, a lot of like people doing grassroots work, people doing good like work on the ground level to make change happen. And so there was this organization called Common Good Atlanta, and some of our faculty at Georgia Tech were volunteering for them, and so they came into one of my like the teaching workshops that I was taking at the time, and we're like, hey, if anyone's available, you should volunteer to teach for this organization. So I started working with Common Good Atlanta. And it was teaching in prison. So that's the organization I want to shout out Bill Taft right now, one of the founders of the organization. He mentored me like nobody's business. Like I am very much indebted to Bill Taft. He's the first person who called me an artist.
Aww.
And so I was like, oh, if Bill thinks I'm an artist, then I'm definitely an artist.
Fire.
And then he gave me, when I left Atlanta, he gave me this triptych of a hammer that his friend sort of screen printed. And I have it on my wall in my living room. So I can always remember Bill and all the great advice and mentorship that he gave me. So, Bill, if you're listening, miss you, bud. Love you.
Then you got here.
Mm-hmm.
You were a delivery person for a hot second.
Delivery driver, yeah.
And then you started working here.
I started working here.
So what is your favorite job?
Of all the jobs? Here. Happily.
Yay. Yay.
I just, I don't know. You found the right place when you can paint your face green at lunch and spend the rest of the day with a green face, and everybody's just like, well, that's just Dr. Batti. I don't know. She's up to something, and we're just going to go with it. And nobody bats an eye when I am up to my silly shenanigans. Yeah, because now life is full of shenanigans.
Good.
And it's shenanigans with my students. It's the best kind of shenanigans.
What is life if not full of hijinks?
No life for me, that's for sure.
Hijinks number 1.
Number 1.
Shenanigans on top.
We got to be a little silly.
What's wrong with that?
Ain't nothing wrong with being silly.
Fire. So, what is the future looking like for you?
I have no idea. I wonder what's going to happen to me next. Who knows what is in store? I'm digging being here and trying to figure out like how can I best be of use in this community? Like how can I help make space for all kinds of people? How can I think it was something that's been really nice about being here is feeling like I have space to set up for my students. Like, you know, I just kind of, room 2 kind of just became, I'm very humbled and grateful that it has become, you know, my domain in a lot of ways. Like, but like, I'm really dedicated, I guess, or I'm very mindful or even kind of strategic about like how I think about that space, because it's not just for me, it's for my students. It's for all of us. We're coexisting in that space together. We're learning together. We're living together. We're just like being human beings in a room together. And so, like right now, it's just full of my students' art. And it, like when I first set it up, I didn't have that much student stuff yet. So I had, you know, my posters of silly movies that I like. And
bro, I was there when you were niche.
Yeah.
Like I'd pull up during like lunch, and like I'd be there, and I'd like, yo, what's up? Dab you up, and I'd dip, and it'd be like normal.
Yeah. Now, like,
you blew up.
I love that it's a space where people feel like they can just like be, you know, if they need a space to just hang out and be themselves and maybe have a quiet moment where they feel safe. I want room 2 to be that spot. And so the fact that it's now full of student art, and like I was just talking to a couple students you know, these past couple weeks about how beautiful it is that in my room there's a pride flag at the front of the room.
Someone asked, why do we have pride flags around the school? If there is a pride flag, then I also expect a cross on the wall, since you guys want to be so diverse.
Well, happily enough, this is what I was talking to students about. I got the pride flag at the front of the room because it's for the Rainbow Alliance, because they meet in my room.
Yeah.
And it's their flag, and they asked if they could put it up. And I said, yes, you meet in this room. This is your space, in part. But on the community whiteboard, now maintained in pristine fashion these past few weeks by a couple of my wonderful juniors, it says in big bold letters, "Blessed by God," on my community whiteboard. And I was telling students that, like, I love that both of those things can exist in this space together. And it's not for me or from me even. It's for and from my students. And like, you know, I'm not particularly religious, but I really appreciate that message being up on my board because I understand what it's communicating. I'm an expert in the field of communication, right? And so just the sort of ritual, the act of maintaining this message and like, and having it in such pride of place, I know that it's my students saying that they care for me and that they care for this space and that we all can exist together in it. And so I would actually maybe push back on that question a little bit by saying all of that is existing in our community, because the community is not just the grown-ups in it. In fact, those are the last people that it's about. It's about the students. The students are who make our community. So I would actually encourage whoever wrote that question, hey, join us. Let's make this community even more diverse and even more inclusive and even more of a representative of all the different people that exist within HTLA.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So what is your favorite thing about teaching?
I mean, my students. Like, I had a great conversation with my advisory last week about how beautiful, how much of a gift it is to get to like be an English teacher, because I get to know them so much through the work that they produce in my class. Like when they write to me, they're writing from the self, they're writing from the heart. And so, and every voice is different. Everyone writes differently, you know, no matter how much people might be using Chat GPT out in the world. I can tell when people are writing with their voices, and most of my students are writing with their voices and their hearts and their brains.
And that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. And so like getting to read what they write, and then, but having them come up to me beforehand and be like, Dr. Batti, I thought this was going to be really hard. And I know you wanted it to be 1,000 words, but I wrote 3,000 words. Is that okay? Like, no, that's so terrible. I hate that. Oh my God, please write as many words as you need to write. I'm a really fast reader. Thank God, because I read 5 books a week for 5 years.
Yeah.
So like, give me everything you got in your writing. Like that's the best part, is getting to be with my students and learn who they are, and just like to know that they want to share that with me is very humbling. It's very humbling, and I think a lot about my responsibilities as a teacher as a result. And so, the best part of my job is just trying to be the best I can be for them.
All right. So how do you spend your time outside of High Tech LA?
I play a lot of music. I make movies. I do a lot of writing. When I get home from school, I sit on my porch for with Big Wave Dave, sitting on his porch next to me sometimes. And we'll talk about our days, but then I'll just sit there and with a bubble water and write something. Usually whatever, maybe it's for the open mic, or maybe it's for my book, or maybe it's my next movie, but I go home and I write. And
what is this book?
I'm not sure yet, but it is sort of a hybrid text. It's kind of part academic, part personal essay writing. But I'm finally doing something with my dissertation, and
about video games,
about establishing a methodology of analysis and scholarship and creation for the realm of video games. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I want to finally do something with it. Not necessarily the way that like maybe I intended the first time, because I thought I was going to be a college professor, and I thought I was going to do like a very academic-y book about my methodologies for video game
pedagogy.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And tactical media, and I don't know, all kinds of pretentious stuff. But I don't really see myself as operating within the realm of higher education anymore. I'm actually, I left higher education for personal reasons, and for very intentionally. I left it very intentionally. And so I don't necessarily want the book to be an artifact that feels tethered to higher ed. I want it to feel like it's accessible, and that it's a weird hybrid text that could locate itself within multiple genres, because I'm a weird hybrid text that is located in multiple genres. So if I'm going to write a book, it's got to represent who I am.
Fire. Very, very paradoxical.
One of our vocab
Remember
words.
one time when we said that in the same time?
Yeah. That was fun.
That was random. Mm-hmm. But other than that amazing word, what are your favorite pieces of media?
What a transition. What a transition. What are my favorite pieces of media? I mean, okay, the first thing that comes to mind is Wu-Tang's albums. Those are some of my favorite pieces of media. If you want, I mean, media could be all kinds of things. We could talk movies. We could talk books. What's my favorite? Oh my God.
Top 3 movies.
Top 3 movies. That's
right now.
So hard. Total Recall. Total Recall. Wow, I really knew that one right off the bat. Deep Red, and oh my God, what's my third one? I was trying to think of like which John Carpenter movie is my favorite John Carpenter movie. No, maybe it's not John Carpenter. I'm sorry, John. It's not going to be you. It's not going to be you. It's going to be The Thing. It is John Carpenter. Sorry, John. Sorry, Mr. Carpenter. I didn't mean to doubt you.
All right. Favorite artists / bands?
Minor Threat. Wu-Tang. And right now, it might be Glorilla.
All right. You know what?
I love her.
Yeah.
But maybe it's Robin. Robin's an OG.
Sorry, Glow.
Yeah, it might be Robin. No, it's gonna be Glorilla.
All right. Do you have any other silly Billy interests?
I sew stuff.
You're a fashionista.
I am. I was making my prom outfit and I made it, but it doesn't fit me. Because I made it using my measurements from before I ran the marathon, and my body is very different after running the marathon. So I'm just gonna wear an old dress.
You know what? That's fine.
It's fine. Bodies change, you know. I'm gonna eventually alter it.
Yeah.
I don't have the time right now.
Yeah.
It's getting down to the wire. Prom's a couple weeks away.
Don't remind me. Oh, school's almost over.
School's almost over.
But anyways, how many piercings do you have?
Okay. Loving these transitions from topic to topic. How many piercings do I have? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Most of them on your ears?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my septum. But
when'd you get that?
I got it in Indiana. I got it in 2017, probably. 2017, 2016. I did it back. I went backwards with those numbers. I'm an iconoclast. Yeah, 2016.
All right. Well, it was nice having you on.
Oh, we're ending on piercings? Okay,
yes.
Great.
I think because that's the most important takeaway.
Is how many piercings Dr. Batti has?
Yeah.
Great. Love that.
Duh.
How many was it? What did I say? 12?
12.
It's 12, listener.
Yes.
It's 12. For now. For now. I need more ear piercings.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. It's never going to be enough.
Never enough.
No.
There's still space. I can still see skin.
Well, when you shave your head, let me know. I'll bleach it.
Okay, great.
And I'll draw hearts and stars
Oh,
on it.
Man, love it.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
We'll open a Pinterest board. We'll figure it all out.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we have work to do, everybody. So we got a Pinterest board to make over here.
All right.
Great.
Next week, we're going to be on with someone else.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. We'll figure it out like we always do.
So stay tuned, y'all.
All right. Stay cool beans.
Stay cool beans indeed, everybody. Stay cool beans.
I'll see or hear or
you'll hear them
next week
with someone else to be determined.
Okay, bye.